Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, I need to get that sorted, and I need to get that off of YouTube and start playing it from OBS. Air raid alerts along the eastern side of Ukraine: Donetsk for 1 hour 45 minutes, Kharkiv for 1 hour 39 minutes, and Sumy for 1 hour 43 minutes. That is the only air alerts at the moment. Hello, Matt German, Steve Sane, Linda H. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. BB, good to see you. Indie Darkstar, hello. Going to hop right into the operational information as of 8 a.m. June 30th regarding the Russian invasion. Daddy Jim, hello as well. As always, the report starts with glory to Ukraine. Hey, Mertzi, long time no see. The 1,223rd day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. In total, 137 clashes were recorded over the past 24 hours. According to updated information, the invaders launched 2 missile strikes using 60 missiles and 62 airstrikes using 117 guided aerial bombs. In addition, Russians used 3,474 kamikaze drones to cause destruction. They also carried out 6,015 artillery strikes on the positions of our troops and settlements. In those strikes, 59 were from MLRSs. Airstrikes were carried out in or around the settlements of Gremyak in Chernihiv, Selenovkovo, Vilgatavka, Vachansky Krutoy, Ogrib, Okhimrivka in the Kharkiv region. Oh, coming out with some hard names to pronounce. For the Kharkiv region, Moravka, Novopavlivka in Donetsk, Orhiv, Primorsky in Zaporizhia, and the city of Lviv in Kherson. Over the past day, aviation, missile troops, and artillery units of the Defense Forces of Ukraine have struck 3 areas of concentration of enemy personnel, weapons, and equipment, 6 command posts, 3 artillery systems, and 2 other important enemy facilities. The Defense Forces of Ukraine continue to restrain the invaders in the North Slobodansk and Kursk directions, getting into the individual directions and zooming in to the Sumy and Kursk area. Thus, the last day, the enemy carried out 11 airstrikes, dropping 29 guided bombs, and carried out 352 artillery strikes, with 8 being from MLRSs. It does not say how many attacks were conducted in that area. There have been reports, finally official reports coming out about Andriivka being liberated and advances made towards Oleksivka. So it kind of gives you an idea of the delay on some of the official announcements. Moving into the south, Slobodansk area, where Ukrainian defenders stopped 16 enemy assaults in the south Slobodansk direction. The aggressor attacked the positions of Ukrainian defenders. Oh, okay. So the 16 assaults was in the north Slobodansk area up by Sumy. Just the punctuation isn't very well on that one. So in the south Slobodansk and Kharkiv area, there was only 7 assaults in the areas of Voschansk and Voschanski Krutoy. Heading over and southeast of Kharkiv to Kupiansk, where 5 attacks by the invaders took place yesterday. Our defenders stopped the enemy assault actions in the areas of Petropavlivka, Kupiansk, and Pishkyani. Heading to the south to Liman direction, covering this entire area. The enemy attacked 20 times. He tried to wedge his way into our defenses in the areas of the settlements of Kopanki. Zooming in even farther, Nadia. Coming to the south, Rikobub, Grevkivka, Torsky, which is right there. And in the direction of the Sirobyansk forest. It keeps going. Novosorhivka, which is up in this area here. Novosorhivka. Olhivka, Novi Mir, Sirdini, and Shandri Golove. Heading further to the south and the east to Servisk. Our defenders successfully stopped 4 enemy attacks near Sicherebenivka, or Sirebryanka, however you want to pronounce that, Girogorivka, and Vimivka. Oh, a lot of chat going on. Let me catch up with that really quick. Okay, good to see ya. Not today, Steve. No tornadoes predicted for a little while, at least. Oh, cool. Daddy Jim offering to cook up. Well, hey, wait a minute. Why does Mercy get food and not me? Real Vlad, good to see you as well. And I'm all cut up. Okay. Sorry, I need to get back to doing videos for this. I hate the feeling that I'm ignoring chat when I'm doing this part of the stream. I don't know what else to say about that. So, moving on back to the brain fart. To the report, and in the Kramatorsk direction, 5 clashes were recorded yesterday near the city of Chasiv Yar and zooming in, Bilogora. Heading further to the south to Toretsk, The enemy carried out 7 attacks in the areas of Dashny, Toretsk itself, and in Yablunivka. Heading over to Pokrovsk direction. Our defenders stopped 37 assault actions of the aggressor in the areas of Rusin Yar, Razin, Mirny is right there, Mirolubivka, Malanivka, Mirnograd, Gorgovo. Oh, this one has not been mentioned in a while, so I've lost track of where it is in my brain. I'll have to skip that one and try and find it later. Coming over to Udachny. Jumping back over to Promin, Lisivka, Novosurhivka, Olegzivka, and in the directions of Volodrivka and Novopavlivka is right here, but Volodrivka, I'm not entirely sure where that is. I'm wondering if it's a typo, because Volo is kind of weird and not a name I really recognize. I'm wondering if it's, that settlement there just misspelled. I'll have to do some hunting on that later. Volodrivka, way back over here by Papavyar and Malanivka. Okay, glad I stuck it out and was able to find it. There is reports that Russians have made it into in the Novopavlivka direction. There is reports that Russians are pushing in to the very outskirts of the Dnipro Oblast. You see the gray area just crossing over the border in a few sections. As well as 14 assaults carried out in the Novopavlivka direction. In the areas of Mirny, Zaporizhia, Fedorovka, Bagatar, Surchenko, Vesele, Novopil, Rivnopil, and Rivnopil. So that is the end. There's some odd situations popping up because of Russia's assault tactics in the Novopavlivka direction. Ukrainians are fighting hard, but when the only goal of the occupiers is to advance as far as they can down a stretch of road or tree line and try to stay alive, that's a hard thing to defend against. They're not exerting control, but they're, in that area. So it's kind of a catch-22. Anyways, heading on to Guliopol direction. Ukrainian soldiers repelled 2 offensive actions of the enemy troops near Malavnivka. Heading over to Orhiv, where 4 combat clashes took place near Orhiv. The enemy tried to advance in the settlements of Kamiensky. And that's it. So all advances were in the direction of Kamiensky. The enemy made 5 unsuccessful attempts to advance in the Dniprovsky direction. A lot of these are river assaults that end before they start. They see them loading taking the boat to the water and blow them up shortly after they launch. No signs of the formation of enemy offensive groups were detected in the Volyn or Polizia directions up here. Our soldiers continue to inflict significant losses on the occupation forces in manpower and equipment, and are actively undermining the offensive potential of the occupiers in the rear. Oh, yeah. It was actually a decently cool day today here. I think we got up to 27 Celsius, like low 80s. Anyways, the report goes into the Russian losses for today. We'll cover that with the graphic here shortly. And as always, we end the report with join the defense forces. Razom Peremoshimo. Slava Ukraina. Oh God, you guys are doing calculus in chat? So hot, all the ice cream sold out? That sucks. Anyways, moving to the losses for today. The last day of June 30th. 1,070 additional troops were killed or wounded today for a total of 1,020,010. 4 additional tanks were blown up, 7 armored personnel vehicles, 29 artillery systems, 2 MLRSs, 1 anti-aircraft warfare system, 3 helicopters, 172 UAVs, 42 cruise missiles, and 85 vehicles. I know, but I had to joke, KK. Yeah, as you can see, it's a nice 71 degrees right now for me. The sun's going to be setting here in about 10 minutes. Frozen fruit and cottage cheese honey? Cottage cheese honey. That's interesting. One thing I do miss about living in Arizona is in the summer, you'd have these guys going around with little push freezers. And they'd be selling these Mexican ice cream bars, which was basically fruit and frozen milk. So they'd mix the fruit and milk together, freeze them into suckers or, ice cream bars. Oh, they were so good. Ukraine has some really good, I'm going to say farmer's cheeses. They're not really cottage cheese. But, they make this big pan of them. And, they'll just flip over the pan, pull the pan up, and it kind of holds the shape a little bit. and you ask for, order a kilo, and they just, there you go, in the bag, and oh, it's so good. Oh, so you know what I'm talking about, Indie Dark Star. Those are amazing. And they're a lot healthier for you because, no, it's not really ricotta. Anyways, those are a lot healthier for you than ice cream because it's not added sugar. It's the fruit that makes it sweet. But I'll have to look that up one day. But for right now, um, let's go images. So like homemade, made in a bowl. Um, but like the people that sell it at the street fairs and such, they do like a huge, cake pan type of setting. Um, and it's very good. Oh, I thought that was, I can't play somebody's video. Uh, let's see if I could find a recipe. Uh, yeah, Ukrainian style farmer's cheese. Siri. I don't want the video, I want the recipe. What I hate about these recipe sites. So 1 gallon whole milk, 1 cup kefir, and 4 layers of cheesecloth. That's all. Am I back? I think I might be back. Need way more decorum in chat. Come on. Come on, stream. There it goes. Just waiting for everything to update on my end, so sorry if I was. Anyways. So getting back to the farmer's cheese and whey. Pour the milk into a saucepan, cover and slowly heat the milk until it reaches 105 to 110 F, lukewarm. Remove the heat, add the kefir, stir with a wooden spoon, cover and leave at room temperature for 12 to 14 hours. The time all depends on the temperature of the kitchen. In the summer, it seems like everything ferments faster. After that time, put the pot back on the stove. Gently bring it to a simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. Do not stir. Turn off the heat as soon as it starts to simmer and let it cool down. I repeat the process 2 or 3 times. This way I end up with more cheese and less whey. However, you can just let it simmer for 15 minutes. Use a cheesecloth as the strainer, and this is what you get. Transfer the whey to a clean jar stored in the refrigerator. Yeah, they use that for something else. And gives you about 2 pounds of cheese, or a kilo of cheese. It's very nice, very clean, and tasty. So, sorry about the interruption. Apparently, I need to stop worrying about trying to fix my RAM. My memory chips are just starting to fail, and I need to get new ones. Activity of enemy aviation. No launches detected yet, but aviation is in the air, heading to strike positions. One way or the other, I'm gonna get you, get you, get you. Sorry, the chat and you guys chatting is cracking me up. Oh God, I forgot about that song. Keep working my way back to you. mm. Any which way but loose. No, not these memory chips. Those memory chips. uh. Anyways, back on air alerts. Keep that one up. And Telegram shut down too. And you can't forget, little Miss Muffet sitting on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. So let me get that back to the beginning. Go full screen. And Zelensky's speech for today. Let me get the sound down here. Just a touch. Dear Ukrainians, a few points for today. First, we are preparing very thoroughly for the new rounds of talks in Europe. Today, I held a meeting with our military and the Minister of Defense. As for drones, our domestic production will be ramped up. Today, we discussed everything related to orders, contracts, and the full capacity of our production. I will talk with our partners about new investments in Ukraine, in our weapons. The priority is drones, interceptor drones, and long-range strike drones. And of course, the front, everything our warriors on the front need, everything that truly holds back Russian assaults. I am grateful to all Ukrainian drone manufacturers, every developer, everyone who is currently working hard to actively advance interceptor drones. This is extremely important. Russia is investing in its unmanned capabilities. Russia is planning to increase the number of drones used to strike against our state. We are preparing our countermeasures. We will also continue working with our partners on sanctions. This is also very important. Putin has already stolen practically half a year from diplomacy, another half a year on top of the entire duration of this war. Pressure is essential. Work on new sanctions is ongoing. I thank everyone in the United States, everyone in Europe, and in the G7 countries who are preparing new sanction measures. There will also be decisions on synchronizing all sanctions, Ukrainian sanctions in other jurisdictions, and partner sanctions in the decisions of the National Security and Defense Council. The proper pace is needed, and today specific tasks were defined regarding the sanctions agenda. I also held the meeting with the Ministry of Energy and the head of Naftogaz to discuss our preparations for the upcoming heating season, electricity generation, and gas-related issues. We must ensure that Ukraine has everything it needs, and this, by the way, concerns not only securing the resources, the energy itself, but also the work of all of our energy sector professionals. The many men and women in the sector, hundreds of thousands of our people do everything they can every day to ensure that Ukraine can keep going and that there are no blackouts. We have already endured 3 winters of full-scale war. This is an enormous effort to preserve the resilience of the entire country. Thank you all for whom this is truly a personal achievement, a personal accomplishment. And one more thing, met with the German Foreign Ministry today and representatives of German defense companies. We deeply appreciate all the assistance Germany has provided, especially in the area of air defense and in supporting our country's budgetary stability. Germany is among the global leaders. It is important that we are establishing production here in Ukraine, our joint production of advanced weaponry. One of the goals is to launch systemic production of air defense systems, and this is a strategic objective. We are now also hearing a truly strong political position from Germany regarding NATO membership for Ukraine. Together with nearly all alliance member states, Germany views Ukraine's path to NATO as irreversible. One way or another, we will all have to ensure security in Europe through a strong and truly effective security architecture, one that will provide Europe with reliable protection under any scenario. Russia is not changing its plans, and it is not looking for a way out of this war. On the contrary, they are preparing for new operations, including on the territory of European countries, NATO countries. That's their principle. The Russians look for where to exploit a weakness, and they must see that there is the wherewithal to stop them everywhere. Therefore, more of our joint production, more resilience, more coordination and efficiency of our common security architecture in Europe. Thank you to everyone who is helping. Thank you to every one of our warriors and to all those who are truly strengthening our state. Glory to Ukraine. And of course, Heroam Slava. So, Germany is second only behind the U.S. in aid to Ukraine. Germany supporting the ascension into NATO of Ukraine is a huge step, and I am thankful to hear that. Oh God. Still with the wave, huh? Carry on, my wayward sons. In a white room with black curtains. Yeah, my favorite song from Cream. Yeah, it's been a long-standing joke that the Polish or the French might be asking Germany to march through Poland to fight Russia. I'm sure that is still on the table somewhere in somebody's mind, but it's this stream would not be what it is without you guys being here. So yes, you guys are an important part of the stream, Mertzi. So reading to the chat is important to me. I want to make sure you guys are involved Because if you're involved, you care. And if you care and you support Ukraine, more things happen. Speaking of more things happening, Discord shut down too. Discord. Yeah, but that's because they don't know you're trolling the chat, Vlad. Drones entering Kharkiv region. Still air alerts from aviation. Summer sunshine. Renegade Chungus and Canty Luden. We have the dream team together again. Already had a couple donations. Chungus is going to start promoting this, and there's going to be a special broadcast on Wednesday. So be sure to stop by Chungus's channel and check out that broadcast. Unofficially, I'm going to start early. And there is the link for the fundraiser. I'm going to pin the message. And I'm almost out of horseradish. So like I got 2 jars left of horseradish, and that has to last me until fall. And I can't run out of my horseradish. So with this fundraiser, we are supporting the prime unit of the 5th Border Guard Detachment in Sumy. The vehicle is going to be a like a drone interceptor vehicle. Is going to have a machine gun on it to shoot down and intercept drones. So you are helping fundraise for this vehicle. You are going to be helping keep drones away from people's houses and apartment buildings. Here's the video from the unit.
Ми військовослужбовці підрозділу Прайм 5-го прикордонного загону. Зараз знаходимося на Сумщині та стримуємо наступ ворога. Потребуємо мікроавтобус для виконання бойових задач і очищення українського неба від ворожих крил. Звертаємось до команди Carrefour Ukraine та Бандера Мобіль з проханням допомогти з закупівлею, підготовкою і доставкою авто, а також до Renegade Chungus та Canty Ludan і їх спільноти з проханням допомогти підтримати збір. Слава Україні!
Героям слава! So that is so cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add that to my intro. Yeah, start getting the longer intro. A different pin this time for the fundraiser. It is the Fortress pin. Fitting for the truck going to border guards. There's also a couple different patches in Ukrainian colors, the blue and gold, as well as red and gold. I can't do the donation just yet, but I will be putting one in as well. So Emu Squad coming in for 10 euros and 21 euros. I can't use that copyrighted song you put on that, Vlad. Uh, I am not sure. I still have not been able to get to watch that uh documentary that Dylan did. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nasty way to try horseradish sauce for the first time. Oh, I couldn't imagine that, Michael. Oh, Nick is doing another interview with Dylan tomorrow. Okay. So, um, I will be getting my donation in to Cars for Ukraine here shortly. Mertzi, I will not be in Ukraine in August, but September, October, and November, and like the first couple days of December. Uh, I'm hoping that maybe getting the vehicle ready might be a bit delayed. So maybe I can make a pit stop in Lviv and check out the truck in person. That would be cool, but we'll have to see. Yeah, Dad, Jim, this is horseradish out of my own garden, and I got, like I said, I got two jars and a little bit left. So we have to come up with something else, and um, I need your help figuring out what. Uh, I've figured out something, but you guys seem to really enjoy the drinking stream on Chungus's stream one night. So I think I'm gonna grab a bottle of booze. Daddy Jim, no, I used apple cider vinegar. Dave's Insanity Sauce. Okay, some of these, like for $10, maybe. Um, but yeah, I could not see spending that kind of money on a hot sauce. That's just that's crazy. Um, I'd rather donate the $30 to the fundraiser. Um, uh, Pepper infused Diablo sauce for your ice cream store. Hmm, that's interesting. Um, don't do that to my liver. No, I won't be doing shots of hot sauce. But oh, ooh, I have an idea. Um, see. Hot mustard. No, no, no. Oh, this stuff is delish. Uh, let's see where I can get this, if anywhere around here. Uh, Amazon, Walmart. That'd be great if I could get it from Walmart. 51.97. Oh, that's uh oh, because it's a box of it, not just a single one. Um, 2-pack Beaver brand sweet hot mustard. Yeah, let's get the 2-pack. Uh, will arrive July 3rd. So the 3rd would be Thursday. Okay, that's doable. Add to cart. View cart. Let me take this to the side so I don't show my credit card. The heck? Uh, oh, that's why I need to change that one. So let's confirm that. Place the order. And there's the ding. So, arrives by Thursday, July 3rd. Um, oh, I need to copy that link. And sorry, BB, I'm going to send you that link on Discord just so I have it and I know where it is. So yeah, official kickoff of the Cars for Ukraine will be then, and now I have my challenge. Has anybody in chat ever had this that beaver oh gosh, come on. This mustard? It is so good. It is very tasty but it is Mustard gas. Okay, that one's a good one, Claire. Oh, they do a horseradish. Um, Beaverton Foods. Let's check them out. So hot honey mustard, Chinese mustard, uh, Coney Island mustard. Oh, creamed horseradish. I'll have to look for that to see if it's in the local stores. Beet and horseradish. Yeah, I just paid like $6-7 for a 2-pack, and they're charging almost 430 for a single. So I think that'll be good for the challenge. Coleman English mustard is the best. Okay, what's Coleman? Uh, let's see how much this stuff is on Amazon. Oh, it's the mustard powder. Okay. Yeah, that's just ground mustard seed. So I think that's what I wanted to accomplish was so yeah, BB, I get you on the message, but I was trying to figure out what to do for the challenge for this round. And I think we figured it out. So uh yeah, when I think Coleman, I don't think mustard. I think, lamps and camping gear. Oh, that made everybody in the UK mad. um Anyways, heading to Canty's Center on Telegram and giving you a preview of some of the stories to come as we scroll back to the beginning of the day with the report on the drones. And while there's a lot of one really big story in there, there we go at the drones. Russia launched 107 drones. 74 were shot down. The main direction of the strike is the Donetsk and Kharkiv region. Enemy UAVs hit 15 locations. Fragments fell in 2 others. Not as bad as last night, but Russia is keeping this pace up fairly well so far. MiG of Ukrainian Air Force strikes a Russian target with hammer-guided bombs. Here comes the bombing run part of it, or the return. So this guy just happened to be in the right place at the right time to get that video. Mertzy, got to get your beauty sleep. Man, I hate to tell you, it ain't working. It doesn't work for me either. I mean, just look at this mug. Good night, Mertzy. Have a good one. And if you ever wondering what happened to all the armored personnel vehicles and tanks that Russia had, well, these guys are wondering too, because this is a video of the Russians showing off what they're losing now. You know, straight out of the 50s. And if you go back here for a second, you see another vehicle on the side of that one. And yeah, these are like straight out of the 50s vehicles. And this is what Russia's using for frontline assaults. Compilation of Gerber's drones getting shot down. And listen to the Russian babies cry. Yo. You know, there once when I was back in New York, I lived in a house that had a coal chute still. Yeah, my mom had that sealed up when me and my brother would use it as a slide to get into the basement. And then we found out the trick you could use of sliding across ceramic floors in your socks. That was really fun. Repelling of Russian mechanized assault on Stepova Novosilka by the 43rd Mechanized Brigade. Oh, Dark Archer, you're gonna have to break that word up. My dyslexia won't let me get through about an eighth of that word. I don't care. You know, I'm an amateur astronomer, not an amateur biologist. You know, of course, the joke that astronomers keep the word simple. You know, where biologists use words like monoglucose nucleoriburic acid or something like that for the basic building block of cells. Unfortunately, in Kivri, Russia striked and well, there is some footage out there. This is the first one that came out. It's hard to tell if that's a bird or another drone. Bird, okay. Second view of it. Yeah, that one, McPigeon. You know, uh, uh, a giant. Whereas in like astronomy, um, big hole gravity well in space that sucks in everything, not even light can get out. Black hole. Borrowing a bit from I'm going to come back to that one. And that one I might not have. Nope, I did not forward it. These strikes, I forgot to forward the other information slide on this. Russia actually, for once, attacked a military target in Kyiv. Maybe it was on accident because they were trying to hit the apartment building there, but there was a recruitment post that was hit. Yeah, that's two people's names in a bridge. Anyways, like I said, I'm not a biologist. I was trying to go off memory of like the one or two times I've heard it said. So yeah, I'm sorry I messed up your biology 300 syllable name. No, I'm not. Zaporizhia direction. Ukrainian MiG-29 destroys Russian UAV assembly and repair workshop with the help of 3 GBU-39s. I have more video of this later from the Russian side. Mick, mini split. Lifesaver. I was in the same situation you were, and oh my gosh, that mini split has been a lifesaver. So I'm going to skip over that one and that one. And this is the position that we just saw being bombed from the view of the Russians.
Вот такой апокалипсис вместо нашего дома теперь. А огород целый.
No, I don't, McPigeon. The only thing that's popping into my mind with the word dead in the title is Dead Like Us, but that was a TV show. So that is the results of the bombing. Now I'll scroll back up. The Russians control part of the ruins of the city, but for over a year now, despite constant assaults, Ukrainian defenders have not surrendered Toretsk to the occupiers. These are some images of things ongoing in Toretsk. It kind of gives you an idea of what is left of the city. This is why Russia has not pushed towards Pokrovsk or Mirnograd very much. They don't want another Bakhmut or Toretsk situation, and it's costing Russia a lot. And you've seen how they backed off from assaults in that area. And here is the official announcement from the Ukrainian Armed Forces liberated the settlement of Andriivka in Sumy from the General Staff today. Not a very good image capture from Deep State, but Andriivka is here, and there was reported our units also advanced in the area of Oleksivka, pushing the enemy further away from Sumy. There's been past reports that this is likely the last assault that Russia, major offensive that Russia might be able to launch, and Ukraine is holding it back. I don't know if that is the case or not, but if that is the case, that is amazing news. Here, let's go to the Deep State map. Because by all reports that I've been reading, Russia is throwing everything they have at Ukraine, all the missiles, all the drones, all the assaults, the meat waves they can to try and gain land right now. And not only is Ukraine keeping them from advancing very far, keeping them from breaking through the lines, but retaking Andriivka, pushing them back near Oleksivka, continuing down the front line. Oh, I know it's down here somewhere. Push them back here near Koltanyarka. There were some other ones a while ago. Notably Nadia liberated by 3rd Assault Brigade. The front was back here, and this village was liberated by 3rd Assault a couple months ago now. Before this assault started, Ukraine had pushed Russians back out of this area. Unfortunately, Russians have advanced. When you're facing essentially a zombie horde, they're going to make advances. But they also liberated Lysivka, the outskirts of Dashenki, pushed in towards Prishkyani, liberated parts of Shevchenko. Almost the entire village of Koltine has been liberated as well, and Russia has not been able to advance again. Again, Koltanyarka, of course, the Ukrainian defenders are losing ground in some areas, gaining in others, but push them back to Rivnopil. Russia is, of course, advancing, making up some ground in Zelenipol, Novopil, Novosilka areas. But if this is all Russia has, Ukraine just needs to hold out until they run out of meat waves. And I would love to say that, yes, I can confirm that report, but I cannot. I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows what Russia is capable of at this point, or what they'll be capable of if this major push fails. Russia also announced today that one of their goals is to reach Odessa. and cut Ukraine off from the Black Sea. Of course, their other objective is to reach Moldova and reach their little puppet rebels in Transnistria part of Moldova and envelop this country as well. And of course, open another line of attack into Ukraine to help capture Ukraine. There's even reports that Kaliningrad has basically been emptied out of fighting units and they've been sent over to Ukraine. And well, there's been sabotage activity along the borders of Latvia and Estonia, even catching Russian saboteurs in the forest in Estonia. So, I mean, there's a lot going on still. It is not an easy task to keep up on everything. I like that they have the bridge on fire symbol for the Crimean Bridge. I didn't notice that before. Well, Russia already controls Kaliningrad. It's one of those weird things. Go to maps. Zoom out. And yeah, this is already under Russian Federation jurisdiction. There's a special train line that runs, I can't remember exactly where it is. So let's start back in Russia. So I think it's this train line right here. And there was a special deal with Lithuania for Russians to run along that train line, and I just lost where it was, right here, to go from Kaliningrad through Estonia over to Russia to supply it. I don't know if that's still ongoing, but those trains, they cannot stop. They go directly from Russia to, Russia along those train routes. Again, Russia has to have trains for some reason. And yeah, the Suwalki Gap, this part right here. Yeah, Russia needs a land bridge, but this is, they're trying to do it by the train here, but they're restricted on what they can send through Lithuania. But yeah, right there's that train line. Now leaving Kaliningrad, going through Lithuania, going all the way over. It's a little harder to see here, but yeah, basically going through essentially the heart of Lithuania to get to the Russian border. And yeah, who's to say Russia doesn't one day pump a train full of troops and just start dropping troops off along the rail line as they go over to Kaliningrad and take over like the southern half of Lithuania. And I think that was actually one of the plans Russia had on the books, to connect Kaliningrad back to a land route, was to take over this area. Well, it boils down to economies. Russia is very big, but there is not a lot of value in the land. There are highways on the map, but in many places, these are just dirt roads. The only way to really travel to the far east part of Russia is by train. They just don't have the economic force to make it worth building roads. So Russia has to use trains and based all their logistics off of having rail access. That's why they're having such a struggle in Ukraine. If we go back to air raid map, more drones incoming. And I believe there is, I'll go full screen here. Oh, it's not on there. Deep state, maybe. Oh, railways. Yes, there we go. So a lot of the rail lines don't work for Russia. This was a rail line that Russia built to go from Rostov. They're building a rail line. Excuse me. They're building a rail line from Rostov to Mariupol, and Mariupol to Berdansk, and then that rail line is eventually going to come over to meet this rail line, so they have a easier rail connection than going across the Kerch Bridge. Russia needs the rail line. So for Ukraine to cut off Crimea, they don't need to get to the sea. They need to get to here. Cut this rail line. That brings this rail line that they're building somewhere in here under fire control. Smash the Kerch Bridge, and Crimea and the western areas of occupied Ukraine become cut off. So Ukraine does not need to do a very big assault. So 38 kilometers to cut off the train access. That's, there's other areas where it's greater. Okay, that did not update. So 53 kilometers. This is where Russia or Ukraine would have to push Russia back. Even just to, let's go Tokmak, Orhiv to Tokmak, 25 kilometers, and they could cut the rail line here, and that would cut supplies to all of this area. Stop the rail line from being built from Rostov-on-Don through Mariupol to Bryansk on down, and cut the bridge. And this whole area becomes cut off from Russian supplies. Russian ships are hiding over here in Novorossiysk. Every time they go out into the Black Sea, they're harassed and attacked by the sea drones. And they have basically no control over, I wouldn't say no control, but they're definitely not in full control of the Black Sea. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Russia also knows this. Um, so, I mean, this area is heavily. See if it shows. Yeah, it shows the Russian defense lines. So they have the front lines, secondary line, uh, tertiary lines, defense lines around Tokmak and the other major cities, lines along the ridge in case they do push out here, so they have a harder time getting back, pushing back to the west. Melitopol, they're building defense lines to there as well. Unfortunately, the Dnieper River, well, it's a plus and a minus. It's one of the best defense lines out there. Can't get a tank across water. Need a bridge. And it's been a long time since we've seen a updated picture of the Antonov Bridge. This one right here. They even have it separated on map. The only other crossing was the Novokakovka Dam, and that is gone. The reservoir is drained, and this is essentially mud flats all the way back to Zaporizhia. It's one of the reasons Russians are trying to push here. If they could push here, these bridges in Zaporizhia crossing the Dnieper are intact still. While you're seeing pushes on Kamiansky, why you don't see a lot of Russian bombing of Zaporizhia until like the last 6 months or so. So that is a possible goal for Russia. Of course, we know Petrovsk and Mirnograd, Russia's trying to wrap around it so they don't have to do urban assaults on these two cities. Again, also with Konstantinivka, again, trying to push north of it from Chasiv Yar and west of it from the cross direction here, trying to wrap around Konstantinivka so they don't have to do urban warfare again. They see what it's cost them in Toretsk, what it cost them over in Bakhmut, and what it's costing them in Chasiv Yar. Yeah, kind of a nice representation of where the lines were at one point. This is before the invasion border. So that is not even 6 kilometers. They haven't cleared 6 kilometers out from the 2014 occupation area. So yeah, in some areas, Russia's doing horribly. In other areas, they got lucky. Yes, I understand, but I'm going to say lucky. And of course, the green area is the liberation of most of her northern part of Kherson, eastern Kharkiv. Sumy was pretty much all the major roads in Sumy were under Russian control. Like this little bit of, and this little bit were not. Right at the beginning of the invasion. And they were, literally meters away from entering Kyiv City. There was a couple of vehicles that did enter Kyiv. This road is the border on this side. Well, actually, the border comes out here to these forests. And Bucha or Pin, Russia came really close. And then Ukraine was able to stop them, kick them out of here, kick them out of Chernihiv, kick them out of Sumy, kick them out of most of Kharkiv, push them back in Donetsk and Luhansk, push them back in Zaporizhia, and basically cut them off and annihilated them in Kherson. Having to leave armor and more equipment in Kherson. Bunch of stuff was also left by Russia in Izium. It is the proverbial underdog fight that's going on in Ukraine. I wouldn't say Russia is a poor country. It's only poor because the elite class steal everything. I mean, Putin's job as president pays like $150,000 a year. And he has 8 multi-million-dollar mansions. And he's not the only one. So yeah, if it wasn't for the powers that be in Moscow, Russia could be a very wealthy country with a very high standard of living comparable to the United States. But Moscow steals everything. Yeah, a bag of rubles and saying it works worked. Okay. Talking about roads and gravel needed to fight the frost, huh? Anyways, that's my take on it. Let's get back to Telegram. And showed you that one already. Not a video, but I wanted to show you a picture of this clown. This clown shot a Ukrainian prisoner of war. Tuzhilov participated in the battles near Voschansk in June 2024. During the storming of a local factory, he, together with others, shot 3 servicemen of Ukraine who were captured. And now he is in Ukraine's custody. So that is one prisoner that will not get exchanged. That is for sure. Someone caught a missile flying towards Crimea on camera. That missile strike, well, it was at this Air Force base in Crimea. And they destroyed 1 helicopter and damaged 2 others. The Mi-8 was destroyed. Mi-24 and an Mi-26 were damaged. I just think that's a overview picture of it, not of the actual damage. And, well, Ukraine strikes back. Pretty much every video from here on out is air alerts, sirens, and shellings of occupied areas of Ukraine, starting with the Crimean Bridge, all blacked out, Donetsk City, Russia could be involved with socialization that promotes honest people, discourages dishonesty as per intent of modern evolved rules of law. Instead, their mafia system undermines human decency. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I wouldn't even say it's a mafia system. The mafia cares about its members. Russia doesn't care about their members. You know, they shot down their own plane with one of their generals. They bomb their own people when they're not making the advances they want to make. Yeah, it's when your government system is based on who can steal the most money. Unfortunately, I think that's what we're heading to here in the United States with Trump and his, I'm just going to say, thievery. This is a picture captured off of the chat bots or the chat rooms in Crimea. All the arrows are supposed to be areas of drones and missiles coming in. So, yeah, complete panic in the Crimean chats. Again, more from Donetsk. Let me turn the volume up a little bit. Yeah, Al Capone, yeah, he made a fortune, but he also gave back to the community. Like you said, a soup kitchen. Um, there was people in his neighborhood that he bought houses for, so they didn't have to worry about getting evicted out of their residence anymore. So yeah, they tried to. At least the mob tries to do community service. Russia, no. They do it if they have to. Yezhinvata Donetsk. Four strikes, probably Storm Shadow missiles at the railway junction in occupied Donetsk. The metallurgical plant in Donetsk. The moment of the missile in Donetsk caught on camera. More from Donetsk. Wait. Oh, for a second I thought that was like a baby Yoda. I had to check. As far as I know, they have not passed it yet. Let me get through at least the Donetsk videos, and then we'll check on that.
Вон там, на 55-м, что-то горит. Глянь. Ёбаный рот.
So that is the moment of the strikes in Donetsk. And one of the things hit in Donetsk was the headquarters of the 8th Combined Arms Army of the Russian Federation.
Не выходите сильно.
Это район центрального универмага.
Так, уйдите от балкона, ради бога.
Да уходим.
Район
Some of the still images there. And is this the partial video? Yeah, that's the partial video. This is the full video of it. I'm just going to play the full video.
Есть 300 тут. Кто-то есть, помощь нужна?
So that is the headquarter building.
Аня, уйди, ты находится! Аня, уйди! Аня!
You know, what I think is interesting is right after the strikes on Ukrainian buildings, you see tons and tons of firefighting equipment, ambulances, people there in uniforms for either medics or military or what have you. And this is all just people in t-shirts and like two guys with a fire hose. I couldn't even tell if the guys with the fire hose that might be a fire truck. So there's like one fire truck on the scene. Anyways, that is the end of Donetsk. Let's zoom that back down, head back to air alert. Again, jets in the air, drones over Donetsk and Kharkiv. The big, fugly Trump bill. Did Trump's bill pass yet? So 8 minutes ago, okay, Washington Post. 8 minutes ago, Washington Post says Senate GOP closes in on passing Trump's tax bill, but holdouts remain. So I guess that's as up-to-date info as we can get. Yeah, nope. So far it hasn't passed, but it sounds like they're getting closer. Anyways, back to the feeds. You know, we just finished watching the Ukrainian strikes on military and supply objects in Donetsk. They also struck at Rostov-on-Don. Oh, I'm so glad I have a limiter and saved you guys that one. That was loud. Let me know how that limiter does and if I need to adjust it. Oh, more video from Donetsk. Oh, hey there, Andrew. It made me jump at him. I'm so... So I'm guessing this is the metal plant in Donetsk. You know, they make the armor and the cope cages for the Russian vehicles. Video from Luhansk. So you see the tracer rounds going out. And something got hit. So Russian air defense not working. Always good to see. Closer video of it. And I think BB fell asleep. So if you see BB, tell her she needs to get more rest. Not stay up all night and all morning long. I know I contribute to that too. I wouldn't be surprised if it took suitcases of cash to convince others. More video from Luhansk being hit. Yeah, the cope cage factory needed a cope cage itself. As a result of the UAV attack, an oil depot in Luhansk is burning heavily. Short little clip there. Couple images of, I'm guessing, the oil depot now. The first minutes after the strike in Donetsk.
Андрей! Андрюш! Выходи! Выходи!
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I can to make that happen, KKGG.
Отъезжай. Отъезжай. Будет. Андрюша, будет. Андрюша, отходим. Потапливайте.
I'm not sure what that was they were showing. So, oh, a second fire truck showed up, and an ambulance finally showed. Two ambulances finally showed up.
Нет. Убирайте отсюда, может повторно ёбнуть. Сюда. Сюда. Вы хотите со мной? Ну пойдемте сейчас.
So, interesting video of the strike in Donetsk today. Okay, I don't know why I forwarded that one. And more video from Luhansk.
Замолчи.
So Ukraine definitely stepping up today and striking at the support systems for Russia in the occupied areas. That's all the videos I had set aside. Were Ukrainian asking for help for drones? I'm not sure what happened with Telegram, but they don't do translations anymore for some reason. So, like, translate currently unavailable. Translate failed. So, yeah, I'm doing better at speaking Ukrainian than reading it. Copy selected text. Paste in DeepL. The enemy launched 4 strikes on Zaporizhia and the Zaporizhia Oblast. A damaged enterprise, a fire broke out, and private houses were destroyed. No casualties. So this is Zaporizhia, well, technically yesterday in Ukraine. Threatening them or telling them I'll give them offering to give them more money. Copy selected text again. At night, friendly UAVs attacked Rostov-on-Don. The governor reports that drones were shot down in a number of districts under his jurisdiction. Only reporting broken windows, not saying anything else, but here is a short video of it.
Раз, два, ой-яй, три. Ай, ой-яй.
And looks like the reports are starting to come out for today, or for, yeah, today, this morning in Ukraine. But that is all I have for you guys today. Again, Kharkiv, threats of aviation and drones over Kharkiv as well as Donetsk. Air alerts are ongoing, and it is currently 7:06 a.m. in Ukraine. With that, I say have a good night. Thank you all for coming. Please remember to hit the like button. Helps get the channel out to other viewers so they can see the reports happening, the reports of what is happening every day in Ukraine. And, keep supporting Ukraine. Have a good night. Stay safe, everybody. Jeez, tongue work. They exist. Hold on, after the stream, I'll address your question really quick. So, as I was playing the outro or intro, whatever, they exist. Said Scruffy says Ukraine is outgunned 3-1 in Sumy. Is that the way it is most everywhere? Yeah, there's some areas that are better off than others. They have fairly even in Kherson, with the river as a defense line. Orkhiv's pretty stable when it comes to manpower, as well as Huliapol. Pokrovsk, its Russians is more like 5-1. And like Toretsk, Chasiv Yar, and Liman areas, it's as well as Sumy, it's like 3-1 at the moment. It's yeah, Ukraine is outnumbered. That's why they're playing the attrition game. And Andrew, I don't know how many times I've told you, you need to be able to contact me outside of stream. If you're going to keep this up, I don't know what else to tell you. Contact me, Discord, Telegram, WhatsApp, something. I need to be able to talk off stream to my moderators. You want your wrench back? Talk to me off stream. Simple as that. And with that, have a good night, everyone.